prayers are with all the individuals and families impacted by this heartbreaking event. In the face of this tragedy, Montanans did what they do best. I'm thrilled that we have many of the first responders here, the fire, DES staff, ambulance. This town, the entire line stepped up to respond. Neighbors were helping neighbors. Rescue teams and ambulances from Chinook, Browning, down to Great Falls lined up at the incident site and outside the ER to assist. Community members brought food and supplies. Many of the passengers were comforted here in this building. And other community members voluntarily provided airport trips to Great Falls, Cal, to strangers so that family members could be reunited to the ones they love. All of these people are volunteers, and most did not sleep at all last night helping the people that were impacted by this tragedy. This was an all of the Highline effort. Communities came together to respond. I was talking to the group earlier, and they mentioned that after being out of the crash site, was going home and being with their families, just with the impact of what happened. I just want to say thank you to all and everyone else that helped the situation. And as we talk about inside, you made Montana proud. And over the next days and weeks, I just ask you to check in on those folks that were at the crash site and help people to make sure they are okay and they can get through this. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime event that needs help. We need to be there as we were, as you were. At this time, I'm told all of the passengers that were on the train have been transported out of Chester. Additionally, with the exception of the 5 passengers who remain hospitalized in stable condition, all passengers have been treated and released to medical centers. We will continue to work closely with the state, local officials on the ground, as well as Amtrak, BNSF, and ATSB to get to the bottom of this and get the tracks opened back up. I'll close with this. Over the last 18 months, Montanans have faced real, serious challenges. But through it all, we've seen the resilience of Montana. That resiliency shone bright here in Chester yesterday, with neighbors stepping up and helping neighbors and strangers in need. Thank you. And with that, I'd be happy to open it up for a few questions. And I'm joined here by Sarah, the DES coordinator, and also Matt, BNSF, who could also take some questions.
Thank you for that question. And first of all, I would just like to say that our deepest sympathies are with all of the families of those who lost their lives and those who were injured in this tragic event. And as the governor mentioned, BNSF has been on site coordinating with the local officials, the Federal Railroad Administration, and the National Transportation Safety Board since shortly after this incident. It's an active investigation, and I'm not able to speculate at this time on what the cause of that the cause of the incident is while it's under investigation.
Good question. This was an all with a High Line response. People came from all over the High Line to help. And I'd like, Sarah, if you would mind comment on where we had people helping.
We actually had people all the way from Hill, Blaine counties. We had Toole County, Pend Oreille County. Who am I missing? Cascade. That was Great Falls. It's home for me. Great Falls Fire and Rescue. We also have Border Patrol as well as the Montana Highway Patrol. So this really was the all hands on deck thing that we talk about, we train for, and everyone did beautifully in the event and derailment. Sure, my name is Sarah Robin, S-A-R-A-H. Last name is Robin, R-O-B-B-I-N. I am the, Disaster and Emergency Services Coordinator for here in Liberty County.
Sure. So it was really an all hands on deck situation. I mean, this small community here, there were 160 passengers on this train approximately. They all had to be cared for at some level, at least to determine were there injuries or not. And then they were transported to various locations. And Sarah, could you talk about where they went?
So if you're talking in regard to COVID, no, we had calls from hospitals all over the saying we have beds, we can send an ambulance. So as far as a bed, they were open and willing, and some went to, there were a few of our helicopter and fixed wing, I believe, aircraft, if I'm saying that right, flights out of here. Some of those went to Great Falls, others went over to, I believe it's now Logan Regional Center in Kalispell. Do you want to?
As far as their conditions, no.
No.
But yes, fixed wing and helicopter.
Yep.
Was it difficult to get people to off the train?
I would talk to the first responders of that. Yes, I mean, if as many of you may have already been out to the scene, you know those cars are completely on their side. So imagine thinking you're originally going to go this way on a train car and being on its side, and thinking of how difficult that is. These guys did great though. I mean, it was, I would say in all, like I said, we train and we drill on this, and you think this would be a much longer process than it was, but with the help that they had and the wonderful training and everybody responding to that call, it was quickly completed, the incident itself. So.
How do you guys plan to get the train out?
Let me finish a comment on this, and then we'll take your question, okay? And so the emergency response, again, all volunteers, they had provisioned jaws of life. They did have to cut into one of the cars to extract some of the individuals. We're just thankful we have that equipment in the community here, and it was available to us to do that. Now, question.
Yeah, so how do you guys plan on getting the train out there?
I wish it out at the scene. Matt may have some additional to contribute. I will tell you, NTSB has to finish their investigation first before any of the cars can be removed. BNSF has already pre-staged the track. The staff members that are going to do the work, they're pre-staging the gravel. So when we get the all clear from NTSB, BNSF has assured me they can get the line up and running in short order, but we need to make sure we know what happened first.
Do we know when it was last inspected, both the tracks and the train?
I can confirm that this section of track was last inspected on September 23rd as part of BNSF's regular inspection program.
I don't know.
The number of trains that come through here vary significantly depending on the season and the demand to move freight, and so I don't have a current estimate of how many trains per day in the last week, but I'll be happy to get that answer to the governor's office and so they have.
How widespread are delays? How is this affecting infrastructure, big picture?
I I don't have a quantifiable assessment of that at this time. I would defer that question to Amtrak, but
Yeah, so just to understand, the rail line is owned and operated by BNSF. The train is operated by Amtrak. So we don't have a representative from Amtrak here at this time.
I think my big question is, what are we doing to prevent this from happening again down the road? And can you elaborate on the timeline as to how long the investigation is going to take?
I don't have a definitive timeline on the investigation. We did have that discussion at the site. Typically it's completed in some single-digit number of days, but it depends on what they find at the scene. We have to make sure we know what happened first. So I think, thank you very much. Again, I just want to say take Montana proud and get some sleep tonight. Thank you so much. All volunteers here? Yes? Yes, all volunteers.
I noticed State Senator Russ Temple in the crowd. Could he kind of talk about how he helped out with the first response? Actually, go to the mic up there.
Actually, I was out of state and I just missed this morning, so I got back here.
Okay.
So
Thank you for coming out. That's the end of our briefing.